You see, once we take Greenland, Canada, and Mexico, we will receive 5 additional armies as a continent bonus.
What's up, guys? Spenny. Were you lucky enough to have a salty-ass old grandfather that would sit on his front porch and grumble to himself about how, if it wasn't for us, all these Europeans be speaking Japanese? Do you know that your grandfather's president right now?
And then after
Trump?
the war, which we won it big. Without us, right now you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese, perhaps.
Not just grumbling on his front porch, mind you, but literally saying it to the faces of all European leaders here at the Davos World Economic Forum. Oh, man, that's just into my veins. Because Donald Trump took that and various other hard lines on Greenland, the EU has halted the approval of the US-backed trade deal for Greenland's tariff threat. Oh. How long is that going to last? Not very long, because President Trump just announced he's going to buy Greenland. There you go. Based upon a very productive meeting that I've had with the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, we've formed the framework for a deal in respect to Greenland. In fact, the entire Arctic region. This solution, if consummated, will be a great one for the United States of America, NATO nations. Based upon understanding, I will not be imposing the tariffs that were scheduled in effect for February 1st. Additional discussions are being held concerning the Golden Dome as it pertains to Greenland. Further information will be made available when the discussion progresses. Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and various others, as needed, will be responsible for the negotiations. They will report directly to me. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Okay. So Donald Trump just announces a framework for the purchase of Greenland, for a future deal with respect to Greenland. President Trump came out swinging for Greenland at Davos today. President Trump saying what we have often said, which is that America already owns Greenland. If it weren't for America, Greenland wouldn't exist. Let me explain. During World War II, the Danish lost Greenland because they surrendered to the Nazis in like 6 minutes. And then to prevent the Nazis from then making U-boat naval bases off of our seaboard in the Western Hemisphere and killing a bunch of Americans using Greenland to do that, we had to go and be the military administrators of the island. We went and conquered the island already. We conquered it. And we stupidly gave it back. And we complained about that constantly. We're constantly talking about that. And so why would we give that back? We just saved your asses. And, not only that, but Greenland is obviously in our hemisphere. It's a place that loves Donald Trump. This is the art of the deal in action. And of course, it has so many other critical elements to it. Like, for instance, natural resources, Arctic bases, stopping ballistic missiles, the ability to access the trade routes that will now go north-south instead of across the Panama Canal, cutting shipping times down by like 50%. All of the battery power and all of the natural resources that are in Greenland, some of the most precious natural resources on Earth, and some of the best drinking water in the world, actually. Like the majority of the frozen water, accessible frozen water on Earth is in Greenland. All that stuff's important. Reporters are trying to dunk on Trump. During his remarks, President Trump appeared to mix up Greenland and Iceland around about 3 times. No, he didn't, Libby. His written remarks referred to Greenland as a piece of ice, because that's what it is. You're the only one mixing things up. Piece of ice. This is President Trump saying that European leaders call him daddy, and for good reason, because, well, daddy's home here. And
A few days when I told them about Iceland, they loved me. They called me daddy, right, last time. A very smart man said, he's our daddy. He's running it. I was like running it. I went from running it to being a terrible human being.
Okay. Trump trolls European leaders with wild AI image of him planting U.S. flag in Greenland. and fawning texts from world leaders. There you go. You got J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and Donald Trump. Greenland, U.S. territory, established 2026. There you go. And then he's posting screenshots from world leaders. There you go. Old, bitter Greenland lib ladies are being paid to protest, probably by George Soros, who's also at the World Economic Forum, trying to take back the world, trying to stop America. Not going to work. Trump says he's not going to use the military to acquire Greenland. Oh, well, that's nice. Isn't that nice? That's nice. But Trump did say that the U.S. military has already conquered Greenland. Trump posting this photo of all of Canada and all of Greenland being American possessions, and Venezuela being American as well. Here's President Trump going scorched earth on the history of Greenland. I loved hearing this. It's exactly what you want to hear. That America already owns it. That we already protected the island. The Danes already gave it up to us. There you go.
We saw this in World War II when Denmark fell to Germany after just 6 hours of fighting and was totally unable to defend either itself or Greenland. So the United States was then compelled, we did it, we felt an obligation to do it, to send our own forces to hold the Greenland territory. And hold it we did, at great cost and expense. They didn't have a chance of getting on it, and they tried. Denmark knows that. We literally set up bases on Greenland for Denmark. We fought for Denmark. We weren't fighting for anyone else. We were fighting to save it for Denmark. Big, beautiful piece of ice. It's hard to call it land. It's a big piece of ice. But we saved Greenland and successfully prevented our enemies from gaining a foothold in our hemisphere. So we did it for ourselves also. And then after the war, which we won it big. Without us, right now you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese, perhaps. After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid were we to do that? But we did it. But we gave it back. But how ungrateful are they now?
Just seconds ago, President Trump speaking at the World Economic Forum about the deal, saying the deal is going to be put out pretty soon. It gets us everything that we need to get. Get a load of this.
I mean, it's a deal that now the deal is going to be put out pretty soon. I mean, we'll see. It's right now a little bit in progress, but pretty far along. It gets us everything we needed to get.
Will the U.S. still get Greenland? Will the U.S. still get Greenland, sir?
Say that convinced you.
Say it?
What did Mark Rutte say?
Well, he's a great leader. I think he's fantastic. The Secretary General was representing the other side, which is really us too, because, you know, we're a very important member of NATO. I've done a lot for NATO. And it's really nice. I mean, it's a deal that everybody's very happy with.
Okay, a deal that everybody's very happy with. We got what we needed to get. We got everything we needed to get. Well, that sounds pretty good. Okay, what's next?